What's going on, everybody? Hockey Squirrel here today. Finally back with some free picks. I feel like I've neglected you guys a little bit, and I'm sorry for that. I've been super busy for especially the last week, but I've spent a ton of time on today's games. Didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. last night. Super excited about a couple plays, though. Especially one in particular that I'm going to share with you guys. It is a 2-unit play. And I've given a number of 2-unit plays to those of you who have purchased my full card. But I thought I'd just share with everybody today on this one because I'm particularly excited about it. That would be the New York Islanders against the Pittsburgh Penguins. We do have confirmation of Tristan Jarry at home, who plays better at home than he does away. But that doesn't really scare me today. There's bigger stories in this game than who the goalies are, but we are expecting Varlamov, and I'll be super happy if he is in net. I feel very comfortable with Varlamov. Great goalie. So we'll start with that. Let's hop into the New York Islanders. I'm kind of skipping over the stats today. I've done all of that for you, and I spent probably 6 to 8 hours or so on the games, just going over everything. So you don't have to worry too much about the stats, and I know it's a little bit boring to look at just, staring at a stat sheet, and not that everyone even kind of understands what I'm going over anyway. But Islanders, we've got our typical lineups with Eberle, Barzal, super fast, great hands, very, very good at handling the puck, great down the center for face-offs, winning the puck. I'm fine with this team completely. We know our defensive pairings. We have a great defensive team here with relatively limited injuries that impact the game in any significant manner other than Anders Lee, but I think he's out for the rest of the season if I remember correctly. Maybe Dobson I'd like to have back, but I don't. It's okay. These injuries are fine. It's not like if we were missing Barzal, yeah, big problem, trouble on that. But just the typical lineup, I know what I'm getting if I bet on this team. I know I'm getting a good defense. I know I'm getting, just solid play in general. And they've been playing well for a few weeks. We look at the Penguins today, and what do we not see? Immediately, we don't see Evgeny Malkin. Down on the third line, I believe, we don't see Tanev. The third line as well at center, we don't see Teddy Bluger. That whole line got wiped out. Doesn't exist. Malkin's huge to not have in the game. So what are you left with on this team? You're left with basically one line and like half a line, between maybe two of these guys. Worth of like star power. I personally kind of cap this or think of it as 1.5 lines. And everything else, garbage can. I don't like any of this down here. Third and fourth line can be tossed, like right in the trash, seriously. Against the Islanders anyway. Maybe it's a different story if this team here, this offensive line, is playing the Senators or the Red Wings. We got a different matchup. That's a different game. But, yeah, I'll stack 2 units on the Islanders just based on that. Their defense is pretty much intact, but if they're going to have trouble scoring, and I think they've gotten scored on quite a bit more than the Islanders as well, by like seriously 25, 30 goals, I think, off the top of my head. These are injuries. These are injuries that severely impact a team. This affects the outcome of the game. If you put all these guys back in here, would I take the Islanders? Maybe, but definitely not 2 units. And I might even skip the game if all these guys were in. This is added value. I mean, this is where value is created. Not having Kapanen, not having Tanev, not having Malkin, not having Bluger. You're missing 2 centers that can win you the puck, and you're replacing them with Jared McCann and Jankowski. No, I hate this team today. This lineup looks terrible. So I'm very excited about the Islanders. 2 units, all the way on that. Going back, the next game where value stems from the goalie is this would now be their fourth string goalie in Arizona. For the Coyotes, this Ivan Pro something, we don't know. He's from Russia, 22-year-old, never played in the NHL before, not even going to try to pronounce the name, but at least I'm familiar with Devan Dubnyk. He's not a great goalie by any means. These are expected goalies, they're not confirmed, but are they going to go back to Adin Hill again? And even if they did, it's not the end of the world, really. I mean, it's not like we're going against Darcy Kemper or some kind of crazy Vasilevsky. We're not putting a ton of risk on the line here, especially at good odds. And the offensive power of the San Jose Sharks after even losing 1-5 last night, I liked the Coyotes last night, but I think there's a significant enough change in today's game that it warrants a bet for San Jose. So let's go through. As usual, Evander Kane, Tomas Hertl, Timo Meier. These are the big names on this team. The ones that you look for to score. Kind of the underrated players at this point. Ryan Donato has some hands, and this Rudolfs Balcers has been playing pretty consistent. I think he's been doing pretty well. I don't like Marleau on any team anymore. Getting a little old. There's a point in which, you know, you kind of just start to, like, be a burden to your team. I mean, not that they're, like, bad players. They just can't do what they used to do when they were in their 20s or, you know, early 30s. There's a time to hang up the skates, and I think that time's getting close for people like him and Thornton. And, you know, as Ovechkin gets up there, too, these guys just don't perform as well as they used to, but that's just getting older. You know, it's just a part of life, really. So, you know, like, would I rather have an AHL player than this guy? Kinda. You know, I'd rather have some, like, young kid that can skate and keep up. Some, like, quick young talent, personally. There's kind of a fine line between young talent and older veterans, right? Like, there's guys that know the game so in depth and they've been in the league for, you know, 15 years or whatever. And they're great at playmaking. But you need to combine that with young talent like Hertl, Meier, Kane. It's what you've got on the same line. That's great. You know, this particular line. But there's certain teams where when these guys get older, it just doesn't work anymore. But now that I'm done with my little educational rant, Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson are the big names here. I don't know. Other than those two, not too much to say about the defensive pairings, but you got to think if you're a 22-year-old goalie, first game ever in the NHL, nerves have to get to you, and knowing that you're going against players like this that can easily score on you, and coming from, you know, the minors where the shot quality is going to be different and the player quality is going to be, you know, ramped up. It's not something I want to bet on the Coyotes for someone's first NHL debut game. Nothing to really speak of in terms of major injuries here. Dubnyk scares me just a little, but not enough to keep me off the game, so I don't mind this play. I think it's minus 105. I don't think I gave you guys the odds either, sorry. So New York Islanders will take minus 115 is what I got them. Minus 105 for the Sharks. And I think I've done enough rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and get this video out to you guys, and good luck. Have a great night.